How's it going, internets? I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's time to get creative, it's time to get animating, it's time to get inspired, and it's time to get imaginative. In today's inspiration, I have a wonderful creator, very creative, and a great teacher, and that is Bruce Blitz. If you're not familiar with his work, he's done a string of phenomenal kind of how to draw and how to cartoon books. He's a great caricature artist, and I grabbed a little clip off of his channel, which I will link in the information below, of just him doing some instruction stuff that I thought was really fun that I wanted to share with you. And then a couple of quotes from an interview I found with him as well. "There's no secret to my success. I just worked hard," and I think that's important. We're all kind of looking for what's the secret sauce behind this guy, or how did that guy get famous, or how did he get so much money, or how did he get so popular, or any of those kind of things. And the reality is that it's a blend of talent and hard work. And there's a lot of talented people who don't work hard and don't really push themselves, and they might not get there. And there's a lot of people who work hard and might take them a longer time, but if you continue and you have just a little bit of talent and a little bit of proclivity and a lot of just the blood, sweat, and tears that go into something, and you're really going to make it. And then every professional was once an amateur. I could go on spouting motivational sayings here, but I'll spare you. Let me just say practice is the key. And I think that's important as well, that even if you're not there yet, don't give up, don't get frustrated. Just put in those hours in the chair, sitting there, drawing, singing, sculpting, whatever it is. Just allot yourself a little bit of time every day. I mean, if you can do a lot, do it, but definitely at least some part of the day, get in there and get doing what it is you want to do every day, so you're growing and you're pushing yourself more and more. And then today we're going to continue on with the last couple of videos that we've been doing. We've been doing a little bit of a lip sync scene, and so this is a clip from Bob Ross that we got from a couple of days ago, and we're using the Malcolm rig from Anim School, which I will also link in the information below. It's a free rig that you guys can try out, and don't forget that if you are doing shots with this, definitely share it back on the channel so we can see all the amazing stuff that you're coming up with. And we'll be using Maya 2014 today. So before we get too far, let's go ahead and just play our scene and see where we left off.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
Okay, now this is one thing that I haven't been able to really talk to you guys about too much with a good example, and that is letting your eyes get a break from your shot. And by that I mean when you're watching a shot over and over and over again and you're working on it, you kind of get a little pigeonholed into just seeing the things that you're seeing right now. But if you can walk away from your shot, even if it's just for 15 or 20 minutes, which we haven't really been doing too much on these, I usually try to keep them within an hour and that's it. But the nice thing about being able to come back to a shot is you can see things that maybe you couldn't see before. And the big thing that I noticed with this one, when I'm watching it, and let's watch it one more time.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
Is if you watch, I'm going to turn the audio off here because I'm not too worried about the lip sync right now. The head just kind of is a little floaty and then jerks a little too much there. It hits a little too hard. So I want to get the timing of the head and the neck movement a little bit quicker there. So maybe we'll hold down here a little bit more and then ease into that first little head nod there. And then we'll watch that again so you can see. So it's a little too slow getting out of that, and then it hits a little hard in that first little head nod. And that is something that I know when I was working on this yesterday, I didn't see it for some reason, so that's the first thing that I was able to see. So that's definitely something that I want to go in and try and clean up as well here. And I did already do this before I started the video, but you definitely want to, every day or every session that you take working on a shot, you want to save a new version of it so that you always can revert back to whatever you did the previous day if you somehow screw it up or do something that you don't think is as strong as you had before. So definitely don't forget, like I always say, save multiple versions and save often. So we're going to shorten down the length of time that it takes to do that move. And then I think it's the rotate X on the head. I want to adjust here. Yeah, that curve isn't as good as it could be. So clean up that curve there. And I think we'll give ourselves one more frame to get in there. Okay, let's go ahead and watch that move now. I think for right here, though, we could probably drag that head a little bit more so that it isn't just moving, it actually pulls down and then moves up. It's kind of what we're looking at, getting that sort of a feel for. So we're going to kind of overshoot that key. Okay, and then I think what we want to do with the neck is kind of ease into what we have here. So let's go ahead and key selected there and give ourselves about a couple extra frames to get it into there so it doesn't just lock off there. And then on this guy, notice for some reason we have that, so let's just rekey that, the ground floor. Okay, let's go ahead and watch that now so the neck doesn't feel like it just completely locks off there. Still feels like it's a little choppy here. That feels a little better. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch that, and we'll turn the audio back on to make sure that it's still feeling good with the audio.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents. We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
Still don't know that I like that as much, so let's still tweak that a little bit more. Maybe we'll delay everything a couple more frames. Just getting into that position a little too much, and then we're just hitting and locking off there. So let's go ahead and key that. And it's mostly on the neck here, so let's get it and clean that curve up a little bit more. That's good. Still feel like we need a couple more frames to get to it, so it just doesn't hit so hard. And then I'm going to redo the rotate X on the neck a little bit more. Erroneous key there that we don't need, so we'll clean that up here. Okay. Yeah, that feels like it's blending into the movement of the body a little bit more. Okay, I like that so far, so we'll go ahead and save our file, Control S, and we'll save that here. And now let's get into before we get into the face, I want to do a little bit of movement on this arm so it didn't feel like it was locking off here. We'll just do a little bit of rotate. So, no, rotate X. Just so we get a little bit of a swing to that arm there. Not a lot. Just something so it has a little bit of life in it. That's a little too far forward there. Just so it's got a little bit of move throughout that, just some keep alive. Let's go and watch that now. Oops. Let's go. And start off with it a little bit further back. I won't straighten it out as much here. Okay, let's go more something. Let's actually straighten it out a little bit more there. Just a couple more frames there. Like I said, just a little bit of movement in there. Okay, now let's go ahead and see if we can't get a better expression to start with. Let's save our file again here. And I think I want him to have kind of a little bit of a smirk here. Let's see. So, give us another frame so we can get into there. Now we don't want to do too much, but we want to try and get some expressions behind the lip sync as well. See if we can maybe lower that a little bit more. brows down a little bit. And with the brows, you want to keep them as if there's an invisible connector between the two. So if I'm doing something like this, it feels like, or this, there's a little bit of droop down or up, there's like a little bit of arc. You want to feel it as if that's all one unit, even though there's really two separate brows. You want to keep that there's a little bit of angle to them. You don't want to be angry, but maybe a little bit of like a furrowed brow. Maybe a little bit up here. The lids. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull the lids down a little bit. Just a little bit. A little more droopy eyes to start off with. And then we'll blink and get a bigger eye. Open, we'll open them a little bit wider. I want to do a blink, so I'll pull those eyelids down. You want to meet with the top eyelid really doing most of the up and down and just a little bit on the bottom, raise and lower there. So let's see. And if this is going to be more of a blink, then we don't want it to be so long. So we can hit that a few frames earlier. Oops. Take what we have here, delete that. We want to hit that a little bit faster. So we got that little bit of hold for the blink, and it's good to do blinks on transitional. So we got this look here, then blink and look up, and then I think I'll have him do another quick blink right around here. So that means we want to hold kind of like 61, hold that to like 77. Do another blink here, but this one will be a quick one. The other one's going to be held for a little bit longer. And then we'll find what we have at 76, and we'll pop that up to there. So it's a quick one. So usually you can do it like 4 or 5 frames for a blink. Even that's a little too long. Two frames down, 2 frames up. Alright, we'll do 3 and 3. position. And then I think we'll delay the bottom lids on that one a frame so that the top and bottom don't hit at the same time. But we still want that closed position. So that means we might have to do the top lids down a little bit more. So we'll grab the translate Y, and pull that down a little bit more, and translate Y will pull those up a little bit more. So that hopefully that'll give us that closed frame that we've got there. And you'll notice with the blink, they kind of pop back open because it's not supposed to be like a close really, where this one is more of a close. So we've got a few more frames in here to close, a few more frames held, and they don't open as fast. But I think we will give the top lids here an extra frame or so to ease into that position. And then I do want to push those upper lids forward a frame as well. So that the uppers hit a frame or so before. It's actually feel like they're popping a little too much open here. So let's go ahead and delete that. Set that. Get in there, so let's see. Ease into that bottom position a little bit more so it doesn't just hit and lock. So we'll give like frame 50 for the bottom ones just so there's a little more ease in or ease out of that position. And then I think eyebrows go down a little bit of inquisitive up here. So we want to grab all of the eyebrows here, all of the eyebrows, all the eyebrow controllers. Set that, and then we want to pull them down a little bit because there's a blink. And we'll go ahead and pull them back up now because the eyes are opening up and the eyebrows are going to be, you know, if I'm blinking, usually there's a little bit of eyebrow movement as well because it's all muscles that's connected with your upper and lower lids, and your facial muscles are all interconnected, so they're going to affect each other. And we want these eyebrows to feel happy, so let's pull them up. overshoot a little bit, so they go up and then come back a little bit. Raise them up a little bit more. And then pull them back down, just so there's a little bit of bounce there. So they lift up and they settle a little bit. A little bit more, just exaggerating. Set that, hold it up there. So there's still a little bit of movement there. I want to do a little bit of down here. A little bit of up. Hold that for a couple more frames because it's leading movement. We don't want it to really lead. We want it to just kind of go with. Okay, let's watch that. I think we want to push that forward a frame or so on those eyebrows. So let's go watch that now. Okay, now one of the things that I noticed right here is there's just a lot of movement. I think we want to make those into about 2 poses. So we've got our first pose on the eyebrows and then our other one. So we want to hold those so they're just not floating around and moving there. So we'll go ahead and take like frame 4 and we'll hold that to like frame 10. So there's still a little bit of movement in there. And then we'll go into what we count like 25 and we'll put that at like 15. And let's go ahead, and it's a little too jerky, so I'll take what we have at 8, and key that, and give ourselves a little bit of ease out of that. I'm going to take what we have here at 14. Let's go ahead and give ourselves a couple more frames to transition between the two, and then we have a little bit of ease out and ease in into there. So let's go ahead and watch that now. Okay, let's go ahead and watch that. Actually, I think I want it to be more like what we have here. So let's take what we have at 29 and make that our 18. And delete our 15. And make 17 our new 15. It's still a little too just dramatically drop off there. So I'll take what we have, let's say at 10, we'll delete that and delete that. Delete that one. Okay, let's go ahead and watch it now. Okay, let's delete 15. Let's give ourselves 12. And move it back about 2 frames, move that forward, extra frame, 16, and then put our 18 back at 21, just so we have that little more of an ease in and ease out. There we go. Still feels a little bit like there's not enough frames to get there, so just mess with the timing. I feel like the posing's okay. Okay, and then let's go ahead and take the, let's actually save our file here real quick. And let's lead with the top of the eyebrow, or the front, the inner part, and follow with the outer part, just so there's a little bit of movement throughout there as well, so they don't all hit at the same time. Come on, let me grab the controller here. There we go. And like I said, we'll follow with that, so I'll just delete that frame. And that'll add that little bit of movement throughout the eyebrows. See that it has that little bit of successive movement throughout that gives it that little bit of life, so let's go and watch it. Okay, and these are, no, do we have eye controllers here? Okay. I don't think I want to do too much with the eyes, but I think I'll do a little bit. Just do a little bit down. We'll raise them up a little bit. Just so there's a little bit of movement. And then we'll hold what we have there. And eyes can be quick. Eyes don't have to be. 13, 18, so there's still a little bit of movement. Let's see. And then one thing I want to do is just do a couple little quick shifts back and forth. Just a little bit. Just a couple quick little eye darts. So let's go ahead and first off we'll shrink those down. Let's try that again. I think we need a couple more frames to get that over. So. Maybe I'll just leave it. Okay. Just a quick little eye dart might help give us a little bit of life there. Maybe I'll get rid of that idea. Yeah, I'll just leave it. I was going to do a couple little quick eye darts, but I don't think I have enough time to really sell it. And I don't want it to be during here, because I feel like that you would have good eye contact. So it would be after here. So maybe if I had another 24 frames or so, I'd do a little quick. Let's see here. I feel like we could do a better smile at the end here. Let's go ahead and save our file here. is okay. We're just getting a little bit of deformation out lip, and I want to avoid that, so I don't need to push that too much if we can't get it. And let's pull it down a little bit. For some reason we stopped on 87 and got 88, so let's push that back a frame. I like the idea of having pretty straight across the top line. Can be a little crooked. Let's see here. Okay, let's go ahead and save that, and let's see if we can't do a little bit on the cheeks. A little bit of bounce on them. Up, down. That needs to be a frame forward. think I can clean that up a little bit, but I think that idea will work. Timing's okay on it. It's not superb, but it doesn't have to be exact with cheeks because they're fleshy. We're just going to tone down everything because again this is more of an accent. It doesn't have to be a key ingredient into our animation, so we don't want it to take away from anything here. Okay. We just got too much going on, so we definitely want to minimize that stuff up a little bit more. Squash it. Because if we're seeing it, I feel like it's too much. You should just feel that there's fluidity and movement through those cheeks. Okay, let's turn our nerve curves off so that we don't see the control. Okay, now let's go ahead and turn our audio back on.
Mistakes. We have happy accidents. We don't make 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 mistakes. We have happy accidents. We don't.
I feel like that works pretty well. Alright, so I'm just going to turn the audio off and I'll just play it a couple more times for you. So I hope you guys have liked doing this kind of a form of a video. I know it's not as body mechanic heavy, but I think there's a little more acting in here, which is something we haven't really focused on in a lot of our other videos. So let me know down in the comments below if there's other acting beats or different approaches that you guys have or that you would have taken with this shot. Let me know things that you liked or you didn't like about that. If you think this formula is good going forward, try and at least maybe once a month or every other couple of weeks taking a break from doing you know, like an hour long from start to finish, but where there are a couple videos long to get a little bit more of a longer shot or do a little bit of a different kind of a shot. But yeah, let's take a look back at where we started with today. And there is / was no secret to my success. I just worked hard. And that's something I challenge you guys to not get caught up in what tools am I using or whose guide am I using or what methods am I using or anything. Just keep working hard, keep putting those hours in whatever medium you're working on. And then every professional was once an amateur. I could go on spouting motivational sayings here, but I'll spare you. Let me just say practice is the key, and I think that's absolutely important. I know with myself, the more hours and the more time that I spend doing this stuff, the easier it becomes, the more natural it becomes. It's less about, oh, how do I do this, and more about, do I have the time to do it, or which way is the best way to support this idea, rather than just the basic mechanics of it, of what controller does what, or where does this line go or that line go, but what's the best way to use those tools rather than just the understanding of the tools themselves. So while you guys are out there every day, because I know you're creating and I know you're awesome and I know you can do it, just keep staying focused, keep staying motivated, keep staying inspired, and keep practicing. Alright, you guys have a great day. Thanks again for watching this. I'll have this video up, should be the day after or later today. So that being said, you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this more of an acting series. Let's go ahead and throw our audio on, and let's just watch it a couple more times.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents. 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 We don't make mistakes.
Right. And that's a great mantra to leave you guys off with. Don't worry about your mistakes. It's all happy accidents. It's going to get you there. It's the practice. It's those hours, putting them in and staying dedicated to whatever it is that you're inspired and motivated by. And keep being creative, guys. And we'll see you, even you over in the corner for some more animation tomorrow.